In our last episode, we stood in the streets of Nara. We watched Shinzo Abe, Japan's longest-serving prime minister, deliver a speech in daylight. And then, with 2 shots from a homemade weapon, silence turned into shock. A nation known for peace was shaken to its core. But today, we go back, far back, to a time when swords spoke louder than words, to a night in the city of Kufa, to a man whose name still echoes across centuries. He was the cousin of the Prophet Muhammad, the first man to embrace Islam, a warrior, a judge, a poet, and on the 19th night of Ramadan, while bowing in prayer, he was struck. This is not just the story of Ali ibn Abi Talib's assassination, it's the story of betrayal, division, and the birth of sects, of a blade dipped in poison, and of a legacy that shaped the soul of a religion. Welcome to the red pages of history, where faith meets power, and every moment could be the last. In the year 661 CE, the city of Kufa lay under a tense and uneasy calm. The Islamic community was still young, yet already fractured by years of political disputes, civil wars, and rival claims to leadership. The assassination of the third caliph, Uthman ibn Affan, had left deep wounds, and the man now serving as caliph, Ali ibn Abi Talib, faced opposition from multiple sides. His leadership had been challenged in battles such as the Camel and Siffin, and the arbitration that followed Siffin had alienated a faction of his own supporters. From this disillusionment emerged the Khawarij, a group that rejected both Ali and his rival Muawiyah, insisting that judgment belonged to God alone and that any leader who compromised in matters of divine justice was unfit to rule. Among them was a man named Abd al-Rahman ibn Muljam, who believed that Ali's actions had betrayed the principles of the faith as he understood them. In his mind, removing Ali was not just an act of vengeance, but a duty. It was the 19th night of Ramadan. The air was still, the sky scattered with stars, and the mosque of Kufa was dimly lit by the faint glow of oil lamps. Ali entered quietly for the dawn prayer. He had no heavy guard, only a few companions nearby. The mosque was simple, its floor of packed earth, its pillars casting long shadows in the flickering light. Worshippers gathered, some in deep reflection, others whispering softly before the call to prayer. Ibn Muljam was among them, concealing a sword whose blade had been coated with poison. He had waited for this moment, watching Ali's movements, his heart fixed on the act he was about to commit. As the prayer began, the rows of worshippers moved in unison, standing, bowing, prostrating. Ali's voice recited verses in a calm, steady tone. When he rose from prostration, Ibn Muljam stepped forward from the shadows. In a swift motion, he brought the sword down, striking Ali on the head. The sound of the blow broke the stillness, and cries erupted from those nearby. Blood ran down Ali's face as he fell to the ground. Worshippers rushed to him, some calling for help, others seizing the attacker before he could escape. Ibn Muljam did not resist. He was taken into custody immediately, and when questioned, he stated that he had acted out of his beliefs and his opposition to Ali's rule. Ali was carried from the mosque to his home. The wound was severe, and the poison began to take its toll. Over the next 2 days, he spoke with his family and companions, giving instructions and urging them to remain measured in their response. On the 21st of Ramadan, he died from his injuries. His death marked the end of his caliphate and the beginning of a new phase in the political struggles of the early Islamic State. Leadership passed briefly to his son Hassan, but the balance of power soon shifted toward Muawiyah, leading to the establishment of the Umayyad dynasty. The assassination deepened existing divisions within the Muslim community, solidifying political and theological differences that would shape its history for centuries. The killing of Ali ibn Abi Talib was not an isolated act of violence. It was the product of years of conflict, ideological rigidity, and personal conviction. It altered the course of leadership, changed the trajectory of the Prophet's family, and left a legacy that historians still examine as one of the most consequential assassinations of the early Islamic era. In the quiet of that mosque in Kufa, a single strike of a poisoned blade became a turning point in the story of a civilization. If this story moved you, if you believe history must be remembered, not just the victories, but the wounds, then subscribe to the red pages of history, because behind every prayer, behind every sword, there's a story worth telling, and we're here to tell it.